Nicola, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you back on, but today it's a little bit different because I think you've been a guest once or twice before. How many times?
Yeah, just once. I think the last time was winter, actually.
Oh, so it was a few months ago.
hmm
And today you're coming on to host a hot seat episode. So this is going to be fun. How are you feeling about hosting?
I'm really excited because, yeah, it's been really nice to be part of the program and get to know you, that side of you. So I think Hot Seat is just giving the opportunity to get to know you more as a person.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, I am excited. I am nervous, but we will see. We will
We'll have
see
fun.
how it
It's
goes.
going
We will.
to be fun.
I when you say it's going to be fun, I feel more nervous because I feel like
It's going to be fun for me.
it'll be fun for you. Um, Before we even dive in, Nicola, do you want to give everyone just like a 1 minute intro as to who you are and what you do with Lord Violet Jewelry?
Yeah, so hi everybody. I am Nicola Dawn of Lord Violet Jewelry. My goal is to make alternative jewelry that you kind of can't find anywhere else. So my pieces are statement pieces in brass, and they kind of push the boundaries of what's maybe normally seen for jewelry. I try and just do everything a little bit different so that you can kind of express your own individual values. If you don't fit into the mold, then this jewelry is really for you. So,
I love that. And you're recording from your studio, which is so awesome.
yeah, I don't get to be in here very often for JBA. So I have like the birds chirping in the background. I don't know if you can hear
I can
them,
hear
but
them. They're
yeah,
so chatty. It's so magical to have that in the background.
it's a really nice space here.
Oh my gosh. And you're in Montreal, which
Yeah, yeah.
is yeah, so cool. Okay. So Nicola, I'm going to hand the reins over to you and you can take over, and why don't we dive into your first question to kick this off?
Yeah, so I think something, well, it was more recently actually, during one of our group coaching calls, we were chatting. Really, it's like got a lot into lifestyle stuff. And I feel like you have become, I made this comment at some point, like, you're our lifestyle coach as well now. You're our life coach because business and life has so much overlap. Like, I really feel the connection between who you are as a person and your personal limitations, and how that affects your business. And so I love that we've got into a lot of lifestyle topics like fitness routine and food. So I'm just really curious about your personal routines, like fitness, for example. What do you do for your fitness routine that you feel really has helped you or helps you manage your daily business life?
Okay, this is such a good question. And yeah, it's funny that you say like sometimes I'm like life coaching because I 100% am. And I think this is where, you know, that it's so important to have the strategy for growing a business. And we have all the strategies and stuff. But you can have the best strategy, but if your mindset, if your energy, if like all these other things aren't also aligned and you're not working on them, it's really hard to implement those strategies. It's really hard to show up for your business. You know, as a jewelry business owner, as an entrepreneur, your energy and who you are and how you show up in the world is going to have a huge impact on your business, bigger than anything else. And my favorite thing about business is that as you grow your business, you're also going to grow as an individual. And you need to grow because if you stay where you are, you're not going to grow into the version of you need to become to handle a bigger business. So it's just a really natural crossover. And I think it's so important to integrate both of those. And so, yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up. So, unfortunately, though, I don't think you're going to love my answer. But when it comes to like fitness routines, I'm very type A. So when I like go all in on something, I go all in and I'm like, it's funny because my boyfriend always says, do you have to do everything to a cult level? Like, does
I'm
everything
not
you do
surprised by
have to
this.
be to a cult level? And I'm like, yes,
Mhm.
everything has to be to a cult level. I'm either all in or I'm out.
Hmm.
And so over the years, I've done everything. I used to do long distance running many years ago when I was really into that. Then I went into CrossFitting for years and I was all in on that. And then I burnt out from that. So I wasn't eating correctly to maintain that level of intensity.
Hmm.
And then I just went to walking and to slow movements and to like some yoga and stuff. That was where I was probably the least cult level of investment. And then when I moved to Kelowna, I went all in on Pilates, reformer Pilates. Like
Mm.
I was obsessed. I did multiple classes every single week for basically a whole year since I moved here. And I think my body in this season was just craving low intensity, lower impact workouts. But I don't know if you've done reformer Pilates, it kills. Oh
Oh,
my
okay. No, I
gosh.
haven't tried it. I don't
Like
know what's different between that and the usual.
usual Pilates.
Hmm.
It's just that you have that reformer. It's like that machine that like moves in and out and stuff. It
Mm,
and
okay.
you have springs. I really like the spring workouts because you can have really high intensity, but like you're moving slowly, you're lying down. It's a vibe.
Mm.
And so for this season, over the last year, like doing a lot of hikes, walking, like Pilates has just been what my body was craving. And so I went all in on that. And I'm now shifting. I've cut back on Pilates literally over the last 2, 3 weeks because part of me is like now I need to lift heavy again. Lifting weights does something to you. It builds your confidence so much more. You walk out feeling like I can take on the world. And so now I'm like looking to incorporate that, but nothing crazy. I'm not going to go back to like that CrossFit intensity, at least not right now. I only want to work out 3, 4 times a week max, maybe even two, with like 20-minute sessions of weightlifting. And then
Hmm.
I want to integrate that with walks every day. I go walking, I'd say it's funny when I think of like what's had the biggest impact on helping me show up in my business, it's walking because I do so much thinking when I'm walking, I do so much processing. If I'm dealing with a difficult situation or a difficult meeting, I like to just walk and talk while I'm doing it because
Mm.
I find it so much easier to process, to move through things. I love walking where I live in Kelowna because I'm always bumping into people I know and I can chat and it's kind of social.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, just like it's the best way for me to start my day. I go for walks in between calls and meetings as well, just to get re energized. And I think what I'm looking for in every area of my life right now is like what's sustainable long term.
Hmm.
And the amount of movement I'm doing now, I go hiking a couple of times a week, like various levels, but like one of them's pretty intense. And we usually do like a 1.5 to 2 or 3 hour hike every Saturday morning, and then another hike later in the day, just because we live somewhere where it's so easy to do that. So I'm doing a lot of just natural movement throughout my week based on just the way my life has been built now. Like even when we're socializing with friends, if like we have friends who will play pickleball with. So when we're
Hmm.
meeting, it's a pickleball meeting or it's a hiking meetup or there's always some kind of movement. And so I've got less like it has to look a certain way and more like, hey, how do we integrate just like different movements into real life so it's sustainable and a little less extreme, like past my past self.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, it's a really nice idea of maybe like moving away from, say, just going to a bar for a drink to catch up with friends. It's like, why don't we just go for a walk?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the season, bundle up, get outside. I do feel like nature is so important for a good work-life balance.
Oh yeah, it's game changing. When I started like switching socializing with people from like, and I still will meet people for coffees or whatever, but meeting people for hikes or meeting people for like little adventures or pickleball or something, it is so much fun. You
Mm,
can chat like you could pickleball I love because I used to be really into tennis and I still think I prefer tennis, but pickleball is easier for everyone to be good at and it's very sociable because the
okay.
court's smaller, you can chat while you're playing, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, it makes it easy to fit all these things into your day because if I was like, oh well, I'm meeting these people for coffee and or drinks or whatever, and I need to fit a workout in before, it's really hard. Whereas if it's
Yeah.
like all integrated, like kind of like habit stacking, but in a nice way.
That is so true. Actually, I think that's something that I've been struggling with lately too, is working out and it being really important to do every single day. But finding I used to do it in the mornings because I would
Mm.
really get that energy from that and then be able to take that forward and have like a really good mental clarity. But I'm finding now I get to work after my workout and it feels like late to me, but I can't imagine starting any earlier or getting up any earlier. So yeah, I'm just trying to like figure out a new routine or method. So maybe I'm gonna be able to take some of this forward also.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean though, because I think what it is, at least for me, there's certain hours in the day that I feel like, yeah, it's fine if I'm doing stuff for myself. But the minute it's work hours, which in my mind are like, these are work hours, if I'm
Mhm.
doing anything outside of work, I feel a little low key stressed, like I
Same.
should be working. And so, yeah, I think we living in Canada, the seasons are so extreme. We also have to be flexible with like changing up our routines. But yeah, when you find something that works for you, just like embrace it and just go all in and be flexible when you have to switch things up. Sometimes I find if I just at least go to a coffee shop in the morning and do some work and then I go to Pilates or for a walk, like that also makes a huge difference because then you're doing other things for your energy, which is so crucial, but you're only doing it after you've done a few key things for you. And in saying that, I still recommend getting your walk in or whatever before you start your work day.
Mhm.
But one thing I have learned, and I'm not always good at keeping to this, but it is like becoming more and more non-negotiable, is that the top successful entrepreneurs that I follow and I admire, it's really interesting to see what is negotiable and non-negotiable in their calendars.
Mhm.
Like we would think these people making multi-million dollars a year, they're flexible. If somebody really important needs a meeting with them and it's going to make them money and it's during their workout time, we think, oh, they'll just be like, yeah, no problem, put that meeting in. And what I've learned from talking to them is that they're like, no, no,
Wow.
my time for working out and looking after my body and all of that comes before anything else because they are so dialed in and they are so they just know like you are your business, like you and your
Mhm.
energy are the most crucial part of your business and you have to protect that time and you have to keep those promises that you make to yourself to look after yourself and look after your energy, otherwise you're going to be on a struggle bus. And I want to just add to this as well, Nicola, because I know we've spoken about this on calls. We've had calls where we're focusing on energy because energy, especially as women, like your hormones are up and down. Like it's really hard to be consistent when your energy is not consistent, when you're dealing with brain fog, when you're dealing with anxiety, all this stuff. And integrating movement, and that can look different for everyone, but integrating movement into your day every day, working out what diet works for you. Like I think I shared with you guys my like high protein meal plan that I was following
Mhm.
and the pancakes that you can prep and stuff. And like when I follow that, my energy is just so different. My headspace is so different. And for me, it's a non negotiable to have a clear mind every day, to have good energy every day, because my business and my clients depend on it.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference when you see stuff like this not as a like restrictive thing, as it's like, oh my gosh, this opens up so much, because moving through a busy day and feeling energized and fired up at the end of the day is the best feeling. And it doesn't just happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I think definitely the idea of things being non-negotiable for like for those successful business people, I do feel that because then they can show up for those people who they're meeting with the energy that they need. Like, so it's kind of it is really going back and forth or goes both ways of being like, you're a really important client or person to meet with, but I need to be able to meet you with that energy that you deserve and like me bring that energy to the meeting. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then what you were talking about. So yeah, when that meeting that we talked about protein, I was just like, I don't know. It really, I was like, let's go, gym bros. Yeah, that was a game changer for me, Robin, because I think like I don't, yeah, like I said, I don't know you very well as a person, and um, working out, like healthy eating habits are things that are really important for me. So I just felt like so connected and invested to the conversation after that. And, just that little personal tidbit that like really drew me into like the connection that we've built over the last year of being in the JBA together. So I was actually really curious. I'm like, when did you make that shift to doing pretty high protein? Was that recently?
Yeah, that is recent. So
Okay.
I like energy, I'd say has been like one of my number one challenges for years. Like my energy, like I'm not a high energy person naturally. Like that's just not how I'd ever describe myself. I was in my CrossFit days, but that was many years ago. And so energy's just always been a bit of a struggle. And I ended up like I've been to doctors, they've done blood tests, everything. And like nothing was coming back.
Hmm.
And I've gone to therapy. Like I've done all the things. I wake up, I get morning lights, I go for walks. Like I do all the things and I still have very low energy days sometimes, like I used to. So I ended up researching a really good, I think it was homeopathic doctor in Kelowna. And I was like, let me give this a shot. So I went to her and she's very much like, hey, we're going to look at the data. So they
Hmm.
look at your diet, they look at your routines, they look at your relationships, they look at your blood work, and then they kind of go from there. So they did blood test and they're like, okay, this is like what we're seeing. We need to treat it with, I think I had an infusion, and it was game changing. And I've just forgotten the question.
Oh, just about when you started with doing more protein.
Yeah, and she was the one that was like, "Oh, for your body, for your stress levels in your job and everything." She's like, "You absolutely need to be hitting minimum 100 grams of protein a day." And I was like, "What the heck?" Like anyone who
It's a lot.
researches protein, like I used to think like having 2 eggs for breakfast was good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at me having my high protein breakfast. No, no, that's like 7 grams or like 10 grams of protein. And I was kind of
Yeah.
blown away when I looked at this. And obviously, for anyone who's like on a different diet, just ignore all of this. But this worked for me, and I've tried different things. I'm not as consistent with it as I want to be. But again, I'm trying to just be sustainable about it. But when I prioritize at least my breakfast being high protein, it changes my whole day. It
Hmm.
changes how I navigate challenges. It changes my energy. It changes brain fog, which I dealt with for years on and off. It was so hard when I used to record podcasts actually in the early days. I'd have brain fog and I'd be talking to someone and I'd completely zone out and be like, I don't know what they just said to me. And like, I
Hmm.
don't know if you guys can pick that up when you're listening to the early day episodes, but like I was struggling on some of those. And so yeah, the high protein thing is very recent. I noticed almost an instant change in my energy, but it's very hard to do unless you're prepped.
Yeah.
And so I actually used ChatGPT for this because I was giving a long list of foods I can and can't eat, which let me just be honest with you, I'm not 100% following because also it just felt too restrictive. So I'm just like, okay, let's do one thing at a time. We'll slowly cut those foods, but I'm just going to do the protein thing first. So I popped everything in ChatGPT and I was like, here's what I need. Here's the foods I like. Here's foods I don't like. And I need to be able to meal prep, but I hate meal prep food. I don't know. There's something about food that's been in the fridge for 3 days. I'm over it. Like, I don't want to eat it. But
Mm.
I also sometimes will snack on other meals, like multiple meals in one day if it's in the fridge. So it's like a bit of a struggle to work out the best situation. So I put this all into ChatGPT and I was like, hey, I need my breakfast to hit X protein, 30 or 35 grams of protein a day. I don't like volume of food. Like I don't like protein powder, but I was given a really good clean one recommendation from my doctor. So I was like, here's the protein powder I'm going to have. Help me come up with some recipes. And my favorite recipe that I did multiple tests before I shared with you guys because I changed it so many times. I was not happy with it. But it's this high protein pancake recipe. It's got like 10 eggs, it's got protein powder. I think it works out to 20 or 22 grams of protein per serving of like three pancakes with this berry compote. Like, it's just delicious in my mind. Maybe not for someone who's not used to like sugar free stuff, but it is like easy, and it's easy for me to maintain it if I meal prep.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, the protein thing is new. I haven't been on the ball meal prepping every week, but when I notice a dip in my energy, I'm just like, well, this is a non-negotiable. And what I'll do is I'll put that in my calendar, being like,
Mm.
I need to do this, and I'll do it on a Monday afternoon because, hey, who wants to work on a Monday afternoon? Not me. So I'm like, okay, I have morning full of meetings and it's intense. And honestly, the afternoon, I'm like, okay, this is where I go grocery shopping and I can do these things. And um, ideally, I would say this is not a good use of my time. But the meal prep companies that I've worked with, they amazing, so many amazing options here. But I don't feel like their portions are big enough.
Yeah.
Like their portions feel just too small. I always feel hungry, and I don't feel like there's enough variety for what I like to eat because I'm kind of picky. So I find that that's just something I just have to do at the moment, and it works. And when I do it well, oh my gosh, my week just flows so well. And I'll do like 3 days prep at a time, and when you have more energy,
You
just
can.
life is easier, business is
Mhm.
easier, challenges are easier. You feel more optimistic. You feel like you can handle things. And when you're navigating business like that, it's game changing. Like it's just completely game changing. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's my journey. Are you on the same thing, or you're like,
Yeah, well, I definitely was struggling with energy levels for the last little while, and I do sleep quite a bit, so I was like, not sure where it was coming from. And so it's been about a week since I tried increasing my protein using, well, I just did your protein pancake recipe last week, but the week
mhm,
before I was focusing like on my regular meals, less so on like breakfast. And I swear, my energy for that week, I was like not even tired at bedtime, and I'm like
yeah,
didn't want to nap and stuff. So I'm not sure, it was just one week. I'm like, maybe it's placebo effect, but I definitely am interested going forward. It is a big shift. Like,
mm,
it would be a big change in kind of my meal planning, and maybe, it's like you have in mind kind of what you want to eat.
mm,
But I do also love using ChatGPT to be like, I don't know what I want. You tell me what I'm eating and I'll
yeah.
cook it. So, being open to like new recipes or maybe like things that we wouldn't normally eat. I am going to keep trying it going forward because I had a pretty good week doing that.
Oh, I love hearing that, Nicola. Yeah, it's game changing. I saw Anna mentioned in the live that she said high protein is game changing. I've never felt as good as when I doubled my protein intake. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. And I was talking to a friend about this on Friday, because she's also on a high protein diet recently. I think she's been on it for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No, it was maybe slightly longer, but her protein that she has to hit is 135 grams a
Wow.
day. And she's like, the first week was a struggle because your body's not used to having so much protein. And it's kind of like, I'm not even hungry. Like, this is a
Hmm.
lot of food. And she's like, by the second week, she's like, she's just more energized, like you said. Like by the end of the day, you don't feel wiped out. You feel like, oh, I could like go and do a whole lot more stuff, and you feel alive. You
Hmm.
just feel alive again. So yeah, this might not work for everyone, but like my experience has been kind of game changing to the point where I'm like, I feel stupid not doing it because I'm like, I felt the results. Um,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
it's
really
just,
about figuring out what works for your body.
yeah. And it's hard because your body changes so many times as well. So it's kind of like you figure something out and then you're like, something changes and you're like, oh, cool. Now
Yeah.
what?
Well, I was curious for that, for in terms of like your exercise routines that you've done in the past. You said that you made shifts through different types, and like, I also did I did calisthenics, which is similar to
I've seen
CrossFit.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so tough, and I feel like at this like I want to say at this age, it just is like not appealing. But I'm curious
Yeah.
if your shifts have been you kind of following your body and what your body needs, or just like trying different things, or maybe now, like, or maybe you tried a bunch of different things and now you're in the mode of like following your body.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I feel like I did every kind of fitness thing when I was in my early 20s. So I know, like, I've tried a ton of stuff and now I just follow my body. Like, I listen to my body. I think there's an element of like what I can feel now is my body's wanting to be pushed slightly harder. I used to love the feeling of lifting weights in CrossFit, but I hated the speed at which we lifted the weights. So
Mm,
now I'm
mhm,
just looking for like a place where I can go lift heavy weights, but like not for a long time and not at any kind of speed. Like I want slow movements. I feel much more connected to my body when I'm doing slow movements like that. And I feel like I'm not going to get injured. And I feel like it's more impactful, like just from what I see. So yeah, I tune into my body a lot, but also sometimes I know like sometimes you don't feel like doing something, but I know I'll feel better afterwards. So
mhm.
on those days, I'll sometimes just push myself to do it.
Yeah. And I love what you said about weights, like how it makes you feel. I really identify with that. Like, I was talking to a friend about that the other day, and she just started lifting weights, and she's like, I just feel so confident. And there's this like cockiness almost that happens. I feel like after lifting weights, I'm like, I kind of get the like, macho man vibe, because it just like gives you this energy and like probably the dopamine and stuff. I leave the gym and I'm like, I can conquer anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
And then your
It's
body,
game
like,
changing.
yeah, your body looks good. Like, I don't
You
know that.
feel better.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's game changing. It changes your confidence, how you talk to people, how open you are to having random conversations with people that could end up being customers. Like, it's just when you feel good, it's going to show in your business as well.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, I'm kind of curious if, or in terms of all of the business that you're doing now, what is the most difficult part, or what takes the most energy from you?
The most energy. It's really hard because there's so much going on right now. Sometimes people are like, "What do you work on last week?" And I'm like, I literally can't remember because we do a gazillion things. So like thinking of the hardest thing that I'm working on.
Yeah, like kind of your biggest challenges for this stage of business for you.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think I'm not sure if I want to share this, but something that I think I'm feeling frustrated around. It's not necessarily something I'm working on, but something that I usually never talk about this sort of thing because like I let everyone go do what they want to do. But I am feeling slightly frustrated by the ChatGPT coaches that I'm seeing popping up all over the show. Their content's all ChatGPT, their programs all ChatGPT, and they have low ticket offers that overpromise and underdeliver. And
Mm,
people kind of go through them, get slightly burnt and or like feel disappointed, which I totally understand. Like going through something where it's like, yeah, it's and then you feel hesitant. And so we have some like potentially amazing clients coming to us and they're in just the best situation to come into the JBA. Um, but now they're so scared because they've been burned. So
mhm,
now we have to do damage control. And I'm like that kind of just annoys me because we like you've been in our program, like our program has so much depth and stuff. And so then you having to deal with someone who's gone through like essentially a kind of trauma, which is kind of like someone who's gone on bad dates and then they're kind of scared of dating again and they meet someone who's like the one, but they kind of self-sabotage and ruin it. So
mhm.
it's that's a little tricky in terms of I just find it sad when people kind of swear off something because they've had a bad experience in the past, kind of like going on a bad date and swearing off dating for the rest of your life. What else is hard? I I would say it's hard that I have a million things that I want to do. Like I want to write a book. I've already started writing a book. I want to do speaking things. I want to do more events. I want to do so much. We're going into YouTube now, like so much, but like I literally can't.
Yeah, you're
I
just one
literally
person.
can't. I'm just one person and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to do it all. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, I have time. We can do this in seasons. And I always try it in summer to take a step back slightly from work. So we're still doing a lot, but summer's so short in Canada. And part of the reason I started business is so I have flexibility. And so summer, like, I'm just like, summer's not the time to be working on weekends. It is not the time to be working in the evenings. It is the time to do the key things you need to keep doing, support clients, keep growing, but it's not the time to go and write a book and double down. Like, that is what winter is for. So I struggle sometimes because I'm like, I have all these things. The book is like come to me and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm just like forcing myself to be like, hold on, like you have a lot of years left here. Let's just like pace these things out slowly. So yeah, I kind of find that hard sometimes because yeah, when you want to do everything and you feel inspired to do it, and it's just like you literally can't do it all. So
Yeah. Well, that kind of ties into another question I had for you, which was about how you balance personal life with business, because I know that you're such a go-getter and have a lot of projects on the go. So you kind of answered it a little bit in the beginning because we were talking about how you connect with friends and that you can be like doing outdoor activities and a bit of like your exercise almost. It's like you can merge your exercise and friends together. But I'm curious if you have any hobbies that you like to do that gives you a bit of balance outside of work, or is it mostly outdoor stuff, would you say?
yeah, this is a great question. So I think firstly, I would say that I don't strive for balance in my life.
Okay.
I think it's a dangerous thing sometimes when we say balance, because it's like, well, what is a balanced life? What does that look like? And sometimes in the past I have strived for balance and then I force myself not to work when actually I get
You have the
energy
energy.
from doing certain things and I'm like, no, but I shouldn't. I should be lying on the beach doing nothing right now, or I should be doing XYZ. So instead, I strive for work-life integration. I remember meeting a really successful entrepreneur many years ago in Toronto when I used to do events. She was a mama of four, multimillionaire, did a lot of work, also played a lot, went on trips, all that stuff, chilled. But every time I saw her, she had so much going on and she had the calmest energy. And I was like, you literally look like you're on vacation right now. Like the energy of someone who's like relaxed on vacation, chilled, like nothing was going to fluster her. And she's like, oh, I just see business as a game. Like it's all play to me. Like socializing is play, business is play. Like it's all the same. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I need to change my mindset around business and around life. And I see business as the same now. Like I see it as a game. I think if I was in the early stages of business, I wouldn't feel that way because I'd still be doing stuff I hate. But now I have an amazing team who is specialist in different areas and they do some of the stuff that is repetitive or like I don't want to be doing and it's life changing. And so for me, I really enjoy like right now we're working. Does it feel like work? No, it feels like I'm having a
Feels
really
like we're
fun
hanging
conversation with
out and
Nicola.
having fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had days where I have intense amounts of work to do, and I make this like mental note to be like, I'm gonna move through this day as though it's a vacation day, and I'll go for a little walk. I'll grab a quick tea. I'll go work at a coffee shop. I'll go down to the beach, even if it's just for 20 minutes and have a little dip in the water. I'll see a friend for a few minutes or like whatever it is. But I move through the day. So by the end of the day, I feel like really deeply like fulfilled and calm and maybe even rested, even though I've done so much. So I kind of try integrate everything. Um, and when it comes to hobbies, you might be sad to hear my hobbies. These are really like millennial hobbies right now. Walking, hiking, swimming in the lake. Basically, every evening in summer, almost every evening, we go down to a different beach every time with a little picnic. And often it's like my steak and like pasta salad picnic or something, or sushi or whatever it is, and go down to a beach for like 3 4 hours and just lie there and swim and chat and sometimes take books. And that's like, I don't know if that counts as a hobby, but it's so re-energizing. It's such a reset for me to be like in the forest, on the beach, like it, in the water. I don't know. That is a
Dreamy.
huge reason. Yeah. I'm so grateful to live where I do because like where I lived before couldn't do that. It just wasn't an
Mm,
option.
mhm,
And so that would be a hobby. Um, I used to be into tennis, but right now, honestly, I'm kind of too busy. We play pickleball.
mhm.
Um, I forgot your question, Nicola.
Just hobbies, just things that
Just
you
my
enjoy.
hobbies. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is a hobby that I am currently like obsessed with. It's so much fun, and that is house hunting. Um,
Mm,
House hunting is like a vibe. I don't know if you just hit a certain age and you're suddenly like all into house hunting, but it's kind of my favorite thing. And me and my boyfriend will go like we're constantly every week scanning all the new properties, and we go and see the ones where we're like, yeah, these are like things that we want in our dream house, and this is what we're looking for, and this is what we don't want. And um, I find it fascinating. I love looking at the different areas because there's so many different areas and different lifestyles attached to those areas. And it's just like working out what I like, what I don't like. And I don't know, kind of
mhm.
imagining life in different places and just being like, I wonder like which one would make sense. But yeah, I don't know if you've got into the house hunting stage, but I feel like it's a thing.
Not yet, but I would like to buy an apartment. So when that happens, I think it will probably become a thing. And I feel like there's something a bit about that that's almost like you feel like you're on vacation because you're going into these different places, like imagining a little bit of a different life. Like it always,
Yeah.
once you move there, it will be normal life, but it's like going to a new Airbnb and being like, oh, this is like, yeah, I love this aspect of it. I feel like I'm different. I'm taken away from like the normal, the mundane. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's so fun. And just to be clear, we don't go into the houses. Like we're not booking open houses or anything. We're
Okay.
just going, no, we go and look from the outside. Like none of the houses here have fences. You can see, you can get a feel. And then we go find a hike nearby and we
Mhm.
work out like what the hiking route would look like if we lived
Mm.
there. So we're doing like hikes and stuff to just get a feel. And I'm also not planning on buying. But I just, it's become a hobby. And
Mhm.
I've spoken to a few friends and they all do the same. And I was like, okay, good. I'm not the only crazy one here.
Yeah, well, you can look at the listings and see the pictures inside too, which is
I
pretty
know.
fun. Like, I have some friends who are house hunting and showed me some very, very wild places in Montreal that, like, I almost wanted to go with them. I was like, I'm ready to take time out of my day to just go look in the inside of the house and, costume designers and stuff like that with sewing machines. And you're just
Oh
like,
my
ooh, you can get
gosh.
inspiration for your own space and something that you're creating where you live right now, too.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So, yeah,
Yeah.
fun times.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I think everyone wants to know in the JBA about your dating life. So, you have been talking about your boyfriend, and I'm super curious. Like, this won't be like a super personal question, even, or it doesn't have to be. But have you found that people? Because, like, I mean, I see you as a very successful person, a successful business owner. Have you found that dating people have been intimidated by you with that? Has it been hard to find someone who like matches your energy, meets you at like where you're at? Because we talked a lot about kind of, you know, I'm going to say cleaning our space and also making space with like the people in our life who
Mm.
can really like meet us where we're at. And so, yeah, I'm curious if that's been a bit of a challenge for you.
Oh, yeah, this is such a good question. It is so funny because I think that I'm like, I on social media, I'm very visible, but I'm very private. So, like,
Hmm.
I'm posting sometimes multiple times a day, but actually, like, nobody really knows a lot about like my personal life. And it is funny because I've had seasons where everyone's like DMing me, being like, oh my gosh, you're engaged to XYZ. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, where did this come from? It's so, so funny. But yeah, you know what? A few years ago, when I was doing really well in business, and I remember dating was so, so hard. I think it was just the people that I was meeting. I remember going on a few dates with this one guy, and he was just like, oh, just so you know, if we got married, like you need to shut your business down. And I was like, wait, what do you mean I need to shut my business down? Because, like, like my means so much to me. It like gives me such a
You are
deep
your
sense of
business.
purpose. I'm like, well, what would I do? And he's like, oh no, I can't like be married to someone who's more successful than me or makes more money. Like, that's not how it's going to be. And I was like, oh, cool, great. Thanks for showing me
Nice
the
to know
red
you.
flags real early on. So,
Mhm.
obviously that didn't work out. Um, and then I did go on a few like dates with guys who didn't like that I was visible. And I'm nowhere
Mm.
near like big or anything, but like having a podcast, being comfortable using your voice, I think that's I would never have thought it, but like some people really don't like that. So I found that interesting. And so I did take like a massive break for a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm focusing on myself, focusing on my business. And then, yeah, I met my boyfriend, and this was over a year ago now. So he is very different to a lot of the guys that I dated. I think a lot of people were maybe intimidated or just wanted to keep you like kind of where it doesn't feel like you're too visible or whatever it is. And he is like, he just celebrates me so, so much. He helps me navigate tough times. We're very different people, very, very different on so many levels, um, but so, so good for each other. And so, yeah, I think it's been a journey getting to this point, but like we definitely complement each other in so many amazing ways. And yeah, I think finding somebody that's able to celebrate you and push you and not be intimidated and not feel like you guys are competing
Mhm.
is game changing. And also, sometimes you think like, oh, like another entrepreneur is going to be like the perfect fit because we're both entrepreneurs. It's not always the case. Like some people are so invested in their business, they don't have any other energy to like give into a relationship. So it's
Mhm.
interesting how that also works out. But yeah, it's been a journey, and I never would have thought someone would want to like you not have a podcast or whatever. I even remember many years ago when I was a jewelry designer, I had a boyfriend who did not like when I started creating reels, which was so out of my comfort zone. He was so mad,
That's
and I'm
so, but
like, it was just he's like, it's embarrassing, it's cringy, don't do it. And I was like,
mm,
I gotta do it. Like I gotta do this. And he absolutely would not have approved of a podcast, which is so crazy to me. But it's interesting because I've spoken to women where they are in really loving relationships, but with someone who's slightly threatened by them. So they want them to have a nice small jewelry business because that's cute.
mhm.
It's a fun little, they can call it a hobby business to their friends, but like they don't want them to be super big. They're threatened by the thoughts of their business overtaking. And it's interesting because we've had clients where their business is doing so well, their husband leaves their full-time job to come into into their business, which I think is just like the best thing ever.
I know. I'm like, where
So
is mine like that?
yeah,
I would love to date someone into my business.
yeah, so fun.
Business partner, like easiest business partner, probably not the easiest, but
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I really think it's kind of those reactions to your, or I guess the activities that you're doing, like reels and stuff. Like, yeah, some of this stuff is like really silly, but I feel like
Yeah.
people's reaction to that just says a lot about like their own personal stuff and whatever they have going on for them. That's kind of like, okay, you have some growing to do in whatever way, very clear. And it's like, I guess it makes things easy in that way to say, like, all right, we're not in the same place right now. So,
Oh yeah. And
yeah.
one thing I will say for anyone who's like single and dating and feels like, oh my gosh, there's no one out there. Let me tell you, I've met so many amazing guys who would like there's so many amazing people out there who would celebrate you building a business and doing the cringy stuff and like putting yourself out there. And you want somebody who is like your biggest cheerleader. You do not need your biggest critics, like
Yeah.
as your partner. You do
Oh, for
not
sure.
need
Business
that.
is hard enough already.
Yeah.
Well, have you found for friends, for example, that that's shifted a lot for you as well? Like, did you find the more you got into business, the more, or like different types of people that you wanted to surround yourself with? Did that really change?
You know what? Like, it's interesting. I think because I moved countries multiple times, my friend group changed just because I moved countries. But like, I'm still really good friends with all my friends from university. They're all in the UK still. We still FaceTime, we still message. None of them are entrepreneurs. Like, but we still have that bond that's pretty much unbreakable. So I'm super grateful for them. But yeah, since moving, I didn't have a huge group of friends when I was in Ontario. I had a few people that I got to know and stuff, but moving to Kelowna, there's just a huge proportion of entrepreneurs here, and
Ah,
they're
okay.
all hiking, they're all active. Like it's just a huge proportion of like my kind of vibe people. So it's just been the easiest place to make friends, easiest place.
That's nice.
But it's also interesting because I've spoken to somebody who's lived here for like 10 years and they said it's not been easy for them at all. And what I realized is sometimes it's our energy and it's our way of showing up. Like I I made a conscious decision when I moved here to be like, be really open to friendships and be really open to meeting people. And I found my favorite coffee shops. I went there every day for weeks. I learned the names of everybody who works there. I talked to them. I talk to people in queues. I talk to people walking their dogs. I talk to people out and about. And even if those people aren't going to be your friends, they become little acquaintances. And sometimes I think we underestimate the impact of having these little friendships that you make with people over time, where you meet them when you're walking their dog, and yeah, you'll never have dinner with them, but you're having that moment where you feel human, where you're connecting with another human, which I think
Hmm.
in big cities like Toronto, we've kind of lost. People don't make eye contact much, they don't say hi. Where I live, everyone's making eye contact, everyone's saying hi. People are more than happy to sit and stop and chat. And today, I don't have social plans, but I've already had like multiple chats with people this morning just on my walk at the coffee shop. I know I'll meet a few people later today, just naturally going out, walking around where I live. And so I have all of those little socializations. And then I have like really good friendships, which I'm so, so grateful for. And a lot of them are entrepreneurs, some of them are in the corporate world. And yeah, it's just I think sometimes your energy and the location where you're living can shift who you're surrounding yourself with. But yeah, the people you
Absolutely.
surround with yourself with makes such a difference. And having friendships and that are so energizing, it's pretty game changing.
Yeah. Oh, well, are you a fan of Brene Brown?
Oh, I love her.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that was something that I learned from her a couple of years ago about just taking those little moments of connection and how important they are, and being open to connecting like throughout your day with strangers. It makes a huge difference. Like
Oh
especially when
yeah.
you're living in a big city. Like I moved to Montreal and then didn't know anybody. And the anonymity is amazing sometimes, but sometimes you just want to like be like, hey, like
You
I
want to
don't
feel
know.
seen.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
feel seen. There's I just remember I went to the same gym in Ontario. I tried to make friends. Like I did everything. I joined the CrossFit club. I joined gyms. I joined tennis clubs, and I committed to them for like 3-4 years each. And I would try my best to make friends. It just never happened.
Mm,
And I remember even going to this one gym. I'd been going for like 3 years straight. I would like try smile at someone. They would just look down and you
yeah.
just would like go through. You could be there for 2 hours, see 50, 60, 70 women, and not one person would like make eye contact with you. I'm like, am I like living in a simulation? It's the most lonely feeling ever to feel invisible like that. So yeah, like making eye contact, saying hi, being the first one to say hi,
Yeah.
it makes a world of difference, because actually most people feel that way, but we kind of get in that habit of like just not connecting, and people are very open to connection. You just kind of have to be the first one sometimes.
Yeah, well, we talked about that a little bit in business or in our coaching is that
Yeah.
like we can at least do that in that space, try and make people feel seen through our either what we produce or like, yeah, our connection with them because of what we're making. So that's really
Oh
lovely.
yeah, 100%. Okay, Nicola, I know we're at time. Did you have
Hmm.
one last question or should we wrap this up? This went so
Um,
quick.
I know it was so fun. I think maybe I'm just curious what you miss most about making jewelry.
Ooh, great question. So, I think first, like, I'll just say I didn't get into making jewelry because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make jewelry all day, every day. I got into jewelry because I'm obsessed with business and marketing. And I wanted to have that role of marketing pretty products. And I didn't want to work for someone else. So I was like, I will just make these products. But I did grow up very artsy and crafty. I made my first necklace probably like age 7 or 8. Like I made a ton of jewelry when I was growing up. So I love the creative side of it, but it wasn't like I feel like for some people, like I'd say like you're like a true artist. Like that is like such a crucial part of the business is like the bringing to life stuff. I enjoyed it. I love working with my hands. I love like the beading and like the components and like putting pretty things together and packaging them. But the marketing and business side and data is like what lit me up. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't say I miss it. I think I look back with like so much joy that I got to work with my hands and do beautiful things. I do miss like getting inventory and organizing it into its little containers and like like I don't know, there's something really fun about that, and I miss like packaging up like the final pieces and like sending them off because that's all just super fun. And even going to like the post office to drop off packages, like there's something so
So
fun about that,
satisfying.
so satisfying. I think because it's like the whole role of selling jewelry is like you get to bring something to life and you see a full cycle of completion. And in the digital world that we're in now, you often don't see the your work as a cycle of completion physically like that, where you bring it to life, ship it off. Like it's very satisfying to an ADHD brain. So
Hmm.
I miss that.
You're giving me real ideas.
I love it. I love it. Well, Nicola, this has been so much fun. How are you feeling after hosting an episode?
Great. Yeah, it was great
Yeah.
to hear those things about you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for bringing the powerful questions. And for anyone who wants to follow along and connect with you and check out your jewelry, do you want to share where they can find you and support you?
Yeah, I think the best place is Instagram at Lord_Violet. And please say hi through DMs. I like to chat with people there.
Amazing. We will link those in the show notes. But thank you again so much, Nicola. I loved having you on, and we'll have to bring you back on for updates on what you've been up to soon as well.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me, Robin.
A pleasure.